Hi, and welcome to the Student Loan Killer Podcast, Episode 1. I'm Kyle, and I'm here to help you escape from student loan debt and find financial freedom. In this episode, I'm going to tell you how I make enough part time income to pay my student loan bills each month and how I can help you do the same. So, I guess the best place to start is to tell you a little bit about who I am and how I got to the point that I'm at now. I went to college for education. I'm a certified elementary school teacher, and I graduated with about $75,000 worth of student loan debt. I was all excited about college. I was doing something that I was really excited about. I was excited to become a teacher. It was something that I really wanted to do. And then I graduated and realized that there are no jobs for teachers. I actually ended up getting a little bit lucky and I landed a job pretty soon after I graduated, but I was making about $30,000 a year at that first job and it was hard. It was really, really hard. My student loan bills were about half of my monthly income every month. So that on top of rent and utilities and all the other things that, you have to pay for on a monthly basis, I was lucky in the months that I would break even. So I was pretty much spending every dime that I made, and half of my monthly income went to student loans. And I realized that if I could have my student loans paid off, if I could pay for them every month, that would make life a lot easier. So I kind of got interested in looking at ways to pay off my student loans. And one thing that I started getting interested in was internet marketing. And at first it was just a hobby. It was something that I kind of did for fun, and it was something that I did to kind of take my mind off of the stress the financial stress that I was going through at the time. I tried a lot of different things. There were a lot of, fads in internet marketing. There's a lot of get rich quick kind of things out there. And I tried a few of them, and they were all pretty much just dead on arrival. Nothing seemed to work, and it was pretty frustrating. So then I thought that maybe I would learn how to do some web design. I knew some people who needed websites, and it was something that I'd kind of had a passing interest in, so I figured I'd learn how to do that, how to design websites. So I learned all of the basics of HTML and CSS and WordPress and all that other stuff, and I made a few sites, and it was fun, and I enjoyed doing it. But the one thing that I realized is that I don't like being a salesperson. And when you're self-employed or trying to be self-employed as a website designer, that's one of the hats you have to wear. You have to call businesses and meet with business owners and talk to people and sell your websites. And that's how you bring in the money. And that just was not for me. During this whole time, one thing that really did work for me though was building websites that I could set on autopilot and monetize and let them bring in a modest monthly income for me. During my whole learning process, uh, I had learned that companies like Google and Amazon will actually pay you to have a website. The way it works is with Google, they have a program called AdSense, where if you ever search for something in Google and you see down the side of the page and at the top of the page they'll have ads, the companies that advertise with those ads, they don't pay just to have their ads shown like in a traditional advertising. You have your ads and you pay to have your ads seen on a television commercial or on a radio spot or on a billboard. Well, these companies don't have to pay to have their advertisements seen. They pay every time somebody clicks on one of their advertisements. And that's one of the main ways that Google makes money. They also will cut you in on the deal. If you have a website and you allow these ads to be placed on your website, you get a percentage, about half of whatever that company pays per click. So a company might be paying 50 cents every time somebody clicks on one of their ads. So that means if somebody comes to your site and clicks on an ad on your site, you get 25 cents. And 50 cents is I guess about average, but it goes up pretty high. I have sites that I average $2.50 every time somebody clicks on them. So that means that they're paying about $5 every time somebody clicks on them. And with a little bit of searching and a little bit of looking, you can easily find sites that are or ads that you can get, about $1 per click on. So I started building websites around that. And I also found out around that same time that Amazon has an affiliates program where on those same types of websites, if you put a link to Amazon on those sites, if you're selling something related to, a guitar, if you put a link to Amazon to an Amazon page selling that guitar, if that person clicks on that ad on your page and goes to Amazon and then buys that guitar from Amazon, you get a certain percentage of that as a commission for selling them. So I was working with this. I had kind of played around with it in the middle of playing around with all my other big grand ideas, and I kept noticing that these sites are what worked. I had tried all these different things and nothing else seemed to work, but these sites are what worked for me. And it didn't take long for me to realize that this is where I should be putting my focus on. So I started building sites like this like crazy. I started finding everything that I could think of to make a site about just to put ads on and to put links to Amazon on just so that I could make money. And it didn't take long before I was able to start paying off my student loans every month. That was my original goal. I wanted to have enough income from these websites to pay off my student loans every month. And it took me maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 months until I was at that point where I could. I was paying $500 to $600 every month, all being made from these websites going towards my student loans. And I didn't stop there. I kept going. At this point, I have about a dozen or so sites that all contribute to my monthly income with this. And it's been awesome. I can't even begin to describe how amazing it is to not have to worry about that from month to month. I don't have to worry about my student loan bills. That to me means, like I said, that's half of my income every month that I get to keep. It's not going to my student loan bills because my sites are paying for these student loan bills. And that's exactly how I make my money. That's how I make my student loan bills every month. I haven't paid for a student loan bill out of my actual work paycheck in close to a year. And it's been awesome. It really has. So what I want to do is I want to show you how you can do the same thing. Because I know that student loans have been in the news lately. It's kind of been a big hot topic, whether or not the student loan industry is a scam or whether they're at fault for the ridiculous levels of student loan debt that we have going on right now. But my big thing is personal responsibility. I took responsibility for my student loan debt. I don't like that I have as much student loan debt as I have. I'd rather not have it, but I took responsibility and I found a way to help myself pay it down that was a lot easier than most people realize that it can be. So I want to show you how to do this. I want to show you how to pay down your student loan bills the same way that I am. And right now, I'm on pace to pay off my student loan bills in about half the time that I'm scheduled to do it. So that's going to be the basis of these podcasts, of these videos that I'm going to put out, of my blog. I'm going to show you how you can do it. And if you want to get a jump start on that right now, head over to my website and you can download a free guide that'll show you how to research and how to build these sites. And if you give yourself enough time, I guarantee that you'll be able to make the money that I'm making. So to download your free copy of my report of my guide, head over to studentloankiller.com/offer. And until next time, thanks for listening and keep building.